Okay, hi everyone. So this is the third video of bench terrace. So the first one that we will see in this video is the design of bench terrace. It consists of determining the following. Okay, so if you want to design bench terrace, so these four are the factors that you have to determine. Okay, first the type of bench terrace. So you've seen before that we have three types of bench terrace. So tabletop, inward and outward. Okay, secondly, what you have to determine is terrace spacing or depth of the cut. So there was some area that you need to cut, right? So how much that you have to cut actually. And we have terrace width. Okay, so we will learn about how to determine terrace width, and finally terrace cross section. Okay, what are the types of data that is needed to design bench terrace? So the data that we need is, okay, first, average annual rainfall. Okay, second, soil type and depth. And then we have average slope of the area. And finally, you have crop and soil management. Okay, if you see previously in the previous video that these four data is needed to decide which of the types of the terrace, right? Okay, maybe I didn't explain about this average slope of the area. Well, we will see that later. Okay, so now I'm going to sketch again the terrace. Okay, here is the original slope, and then you cut and you fill and you cut and you fill and you cut and you fill. Okay, so this is the cut, the fill part. This is the cutting section. Okay, if you still remember, what do you call this? This is riser, right? Or can also be called butter slope. The slope. Okay, and then this part, this is the part that you cut, right? Okay, so you call it depth of cut. Okay, so preferably the amount of the length of the soil that you fill or you cut should be the same. This is to minimize the cost of doing this terrace. Okay, so we have another one. Okay, from this point to this point, this is called width of terrace. Okay, never forget that we should have the bands, the shoulder bands here. Okay, so we have shoulder bands. Okay, for suggestion, from the reference that I see, the width of the terrace, it says suggestion, the width of the terrace, okay, for manual farming, the width should be around 2.5 to 5 meters. Yeah, this is quite huge for manual farming, but for mechanized farming, what do you think of the width? Should it be smaller or larger than manual farming? Yeah, of course it should be larger. So the width should be between these 3.5 to 8 meter. Okay, so normally for mechanized farming, we will require deep soil and thus higher cost of construction. Higher construction cost. Okay. Okay, for W, for width of the terrace, okay, I just write it here. Width of the bench terrace. Okay, so this is W. We want to determine the depth of the cut, right? So the depth of cut is D over 2, and then the vertical interval. Is D. Okay, so this width, the depth of the cut, and the vertical interval is the ones that we will determine. Okay, let's see how can we determine. Let's see how. Okay, let's have it again. Okay, so between N M, this length, this point to this point, we call it S. And M is equals to S. And between point M to point A, we call this A to M. Have it 100. Put it as 100. So S is actually the slope. Okay, so consider that this triangle NMA is equals to ABC. Okay, equivalent triangle. Okay, and we also have this section. Okay, this section from this point to this point B, this is W. Okay, so between point B and point C, this is W over 2, half of W. Okay, so this is also half of W. Okay, once you consider this NMA and ABC is equal, so what will you have is one more, I forgot to tell you. So this height from A to B, this is D over 2. Okay. Okay, for NM we call it S, but for AB we call it D over 2. Okay, so after considering that they are both similar, what will you have? You consider that this is similar, so you will have D2, D over 2, is equals to S, right? And we have this W over 2 is equals to 100. Yeah, got it? W over 2 is equals to 100. So, by having this, you have D is equals to W S over 100. Okay? Okay, so S again, S is slope. Land slope in percent. So D over 2 is depth of cut. And W is, I hope we can see this point. Okay, this W is width of terrace. Okay. So for this value, for D over 2, normally the height is up to 1 meter only. But this is not necessarily true all the time, but this is just a suggestion. Okay, so I hope you are clear, and now I hope you will be able to determine the width of the terrace. Maybe you can also determine the slope, or if the slope is given, then you can determine the depth. Okay, so the question will be around this. Yeah, sometimes you have to determine D, sometimes W, sometimes S. Okay, see you guys in the next lecture. Or maybe I should just continue because this is very short. Okay, let's continue then. This is not more than 3 minutes. So we are going to talk about